This is a podcast presented by
Hard to Find Media.
Subscribe to Hard to Find Media on youtube.com/Hard to Find Media Network. This shit is free. Share it. Blast it.
And we're back. This is KAOP AM 1045. My name is Danny, and this is Access on Purpose, a weekly radio show where we can cover the ins, the outs, the ups and downs of the Seattle music scene. With me, as always, is Adam.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
How are you doing?
Doing okay. How about yourself?
Not too bad. So, Adam, we had a really fun night the other night. We had a really great night. So, the other night, I decided to just go up on the roof of the studio with some beer and with some friends.
Like
Adam,
good friends.
Good friends. And Adam, what did we see when we were up on that roof?
So when we were hanging out, it was just like good friends hanging out, just like really close people, you know, like...
Okay, get to the point.
So you know... but we were hanging up there, and I was looking off in the distance, and I don't know if you ever seen, like when you're driving by, like, a high school stadium at night, and you can, like, see the lights on, but they're going up into the sky.
Yeah.
And they're illuminating the sky. And I was looking out on the horizon, and I saw there's some lights that are up there illuminating the sky. I was like, what is that?
But it's like a ribbon.
Well, yeah, so it was green. And it was this...
Or is it blue?
It was a green ribbon going through... I could be colorblind. I think those are the guy. Yeah. It was... I'm pretty sure it was green. Yeah. And I realized... I was like, I think that's the Northern Lights.
And I didn't believe you at first. I was a negative Nelly. I didn't think it was, but it was. We saw the Northern Lights.
And it was like... It wasn't like fake, like, oh, you can just barely see... I mean, we're in the city.
Yeah,
we're in the city.
It was fucking solid.
And we have light pollution, and you could really see it.
It was awesome. And you know, as fun as that was, I would have traded that for something else that a friend of mine saw on Capitol Hill this week.
What's that?
So... A friend of mine was leaving Little Oddfellows. Great place to get a cup of coffee. They have an endless cup, bottomless mug is on the menu.
How much does it cost?
I think it's $3.25, and then you just refill it as much as you want, and you refill it yourself, so there's no like shame or guilt.
Oh, and you really like that? You like the whole self-service deal?
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
No, I know that this is.
You're a self-made man.
No, because I want to.
I want to drink if you wore boots.
No, because I want to drink like a gallon of coffee, and I don't want them to know about it. But anyways,
so shame is your motivator.
Yeah. So they were leaving Little Oddfellows, and there was a food truck on Pike, and it was a McDonald's food truck giving away free French fries, and no one was taking them up on the offer. There was no one in line but a homeless person eating French fries.
I mean, really?
Because people are just walking by because no one wants fucking to patronize McDonald's.
Did you know that Disneyland used to have a McDonald's French fry cart in Frontierland?
The beginning of McDonald's and the beginning of Disneyland are intertwined. Ray A. Kroc, the guy who founded McDonald's, it's a whole thing.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm being serious.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, see you on Wikipedia tonight, buddy.
So was it a food truck type truck?
It was a food truck type truck of McDonald's giving away free French fries as a promotion, and no one was taking them up on it.
Damn.
And I would have traded seeing the Aurora Borealis to see that because I think it's so fucking funny.
See, I like the fact that we had this like nature spiritual moment, but I am very curious about this McDonald's French fry truck. I'm glad we saw what we saw.
I would trade it.
Really?
That's so funny to me. Just like, fuck you, no one's gonna, like, you're in the wrong neighborhood.
I know you didn't see it, but I am curious. In your mind, was it the cardboard French fries or was it the little tiny crappy paper French fries?
I'll call McDonald's headquarters tomorrow night.
But what do you think it was?
It's probably the paper.
Yeah.
What neighborhood do you think would more appreciate? And conversely...
Downtown.
Downtown, so you think that if someone was on the roof downtown and they looked up in the Aurora Borealis, they were like, fuck that.
So, Adam... This radio show is all about Seattle music. And I know that you like to collect the records, and I know you like to line the wall of your apartment with all your rare 7 inches. But you know what? God damn it, I like going to shows. Going to shows is a really fun thing. And, you know, we've had people on this radio program that have played the shows, people have written about the shows, people have booked the shows, people reviewed the shows. But you know who we have not had on?
The people that record the shows?
The people that turn the knobs. The sound men. The sound people. and I'm very excited to introduce this week's guests, Will Smith and Ben Marks.
Hi.
Hey, thanks for
having us.
You two have your own company? Is that what you call it? Fledgling company?
It's an LLC.
An LLC, limited
yeah.
liability company?
Yeah, fledgling is a good word for it, but we started as a location recording company in 2014, and we sort of branched out from there into like production management and live sound.
Whoa, you're going too fast for my listeners. Hold on 1 second. So
you said you did location management?
Location recording. So we'll bring the studio to the venue pretty much, and try to get a nice multi-track recording.
Is that your catchphrase? We'll bring the studio to the venue.
No, not exactly.
I don't think we have a catchphrase.
No, I don't think we have one either.
Oh, you do now.
It's not a very good catchphrase.
Yeah.
Is that?
No.
What is a good catchphrase?
We haven't thought of one yet.
How would you describe what you do to regular folk?
Like someone who doesn't like music, like someone that might hate music. How would you?
Someone who's trying to ruin my podcast.
We
with
make the
weird,
things that
depressing
you
stories.
don't like really, really loud, and sometimes we even record them for posterity.
Yeah.
If you don't like music, that's what we do.
Yeah.
If you like music, we probably deliver you a pretty good time, in the form of a great recording or a really good sounding concert.
So we just came out of Big Buildings.
Yeah, Big Building Bash.
Big Building Bash, 3 Bs. I think that's a little excessive. You two are doing sound there. What did you do?
Oh.
What did we do?
Describe like beginning to end as you roll up.
Well, this is a bit of a tender subject for me because the end of that night was a bit brutal.
I know what happened. At the end of that night, and I think that'll be good for ratings.
Oh well, great, awesome, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you want to start? Want to go back and forth?
Sure, I guess
point?
we can start with. Do you want to start with the planning, or should we go straight into the event day of? Is that
How
what
are your
we're-
approach?
Well, I think the first thing we should say before we do anything, umbrella statement over everything. Everyone that we worked with, and everyone who was running the festival, and everyone who played, were fucking stellar, super professional, wonderful people. So it may seem at times like we're complaining, but it's just us being.
No, I have no complaints. It went off
Well,
flawlessly.
again, my night was a little bit more tender
Right.
than yours,
Right.
But this is the dynamic.
Other than your tenderness.
right,
it went off
other
flawlessly.
than yeah.
Time, love, and tenderness.
Yeah.
What?
I'm just trying to give you catchphrases for your business. That your LLC.
You're on a roll,
Your
Danny.
LL Bean that doesn't have any.
I don't want to distract because I really do want to hear the story, but I think you're focusing on catchphrases when their business should be focused on slogans.
What's the difference?
A slogan, I think, is trying to describe your business. A catchphrase is something that, like a TV
Is
character
it
says.
like a
Steve
catchphrase
Urkel.
is to a jingle as like a theme song is to a slogan kind of thing? Maybe theme song's the wrong word, but like, you know, like the Pepsi, like,
If you know,
On a
email us at accentsPurposePodcast@gmail.com. Okay, so let's go back to you being approached to do sound. How does it start?
We were talking about big buildings.
right.
That's
That's what
Big
we're,
Building Bash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All day festival.
Well, I think everything is about just knowing people and people knowing other people and then doing
So you're saying if someone is listening to this and they want to get into the business and they don't know anyone, they should just give up right now?
No, I would say continue to make sound for like your puppets and your friends that you make up in your head and see what
Or
happens.
go to shows and volunteer your labor until you start getting paid to do things.
Just structure it.
That's how people really get into it, honestly.
How did you two get into it?
So I got into it when I was pretty young. I was about 13. I was living in Northern California and didn't have a whole lot of friends. And there was an all-ages punk venue nearby.
Do you remember the name?
Yeah, it was called the Placebo. It was in Arcata, well, outside of Arcata, in a converted classroom, like this elementary school. It had been turned into a
Hey,
community
Gary,
center.
I think we're getting a little hot mic here.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I started going to this venue, and I was there every weekend because it was the only all-ages thing to do.
The only all ages thing to do.
Right. And I just sort of volunteered to help out, move things, move that speaker, lift that heavy object, whatever. And they didn't really have enough people to do sound, and they taught me how to plug things in, and it was a very low-pressure environment to learn, so I just kind of have been going since then.
Was it kind of like some vocal mics and kick drum type of setup?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
A crappy PA in the in a suspended ceiling classroom. I mean, it sounded terrible, but it was awesome. And if things fed back, it was just rock and roll.
Yeah.
It was great.
So, Will, I want to concentrate on you. How did you end up in Seattle?
I moved up to Seattle to go to Cornish, same as Ben. I finished a music degree in 2015.
And that's an engineering school?
No, it's not. They actually don't have any engineering programs. I studied music composition, but being an engineer in a more sort of conservatory environment had its advantages. Your services are kind of in demand. There's no one studying that there.
Do you remember the day you two met?
Met? I think it was Game of Thrones at Andre and Rose Kirchner's house.
Really?
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm really sorry.
I'm sorry. This is really...
Sorry.
So, you met over Game of Thrones?
I think so, yeah. Because
Have either of you read the books?
No.
No.
I still haven't read the books. I don't really have an inclination to read the books.
Because you can just watch the show. The show's already past the books. Who needs fucking books?
Well,
I heard
it's an alternate timeline.
J.R.R. Martin decided he's just not going to finish the book.
Was that really?
Yeah, he just said fuck it.
No way.
Yep, he just
Really?
said fuck it.
I think his computer that runs WordStar crashed, and he's like, it's not worth getting a new.
This Apple IIe has finally bit the dust.
So I'm still not clear. I mean, I know you guys, everyone else listening, has a grasp on this. So
No
go,
one's listening. Two.
So you go into a place that already, you go into a venue that has sound, and then you guys.
So we do a lot of things. I think the cool thing about Hatchback is that we're both independent, but we work together at the same time. So
Ooh, catchphrase.
yeah, independent together, right? No, so yeah, that's a front of house engineer, someone who kind of comes in, and this is more Will's forte than it is mine. Someone who comes in, mixes the
Will
show.
Forte.
Oh God, let's start that now. Let's get it going early. No, and so that's front of house, right? Also, there's recording engineers that go into a studio and record without just a recording, not a performance necessarily. And then I think probably the biggest part of Hatchback is the building of stages and the putting on of shows from where there was nothing, something kind of thing.
Is that your? So if he's.
I don't really see. Here's the trick, though. I don't really have a forte. Okay. Will has all the fortes. I'm like more or less like support and good vibes, even though I rarely have good vibes.
Ben keeps me from being completely disorganized and distracted.
That's interesting because he was being very distracting earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
So now, when you were going to go to college, I'm still focusing on Will.
No, by all
Ben
means.
seems to be angry right now.
A little Henri?
Yeah, a little angry.
Henri Benjamin.
Did you know that this is what you wanted to do, like sound engineer, and you're like, oh, I'm just going to go to Cornish and go to learn composition to, just be
a better engineer?
Yeah.
Will played a really long time. He was a cellist.
Yeah. No, I was genuinely interested in potentially changing my career path. I'd been doing engineering professionally for a little while. I toured a little bit and worked for a small record label in the Monterey area in California. But when I moved up here, I was mostly interested in using the things I was learning in composition school to sort of further my ability as an engineer and a producer. For the main reason that you can know everything there is to know about recording equipment, but you might not know why or what you're trying to achieve with that equipment.
That's a really serious answer.
That is a really serious answer. That's a good answer. When was the first time you used something big, like a big board?
A big board. Oh, that was probably 2008.
For what?
I was working in Wyoming for my friend's sound company. And that was my summer job. Well, no, it wasn't quite in Wyoming yet. I met this guy in Big Sur, California. I was working on my friend's music festival, and
what's the name of the music festival?
It was called Nakarubi Music Festival in Big Sur, and so this guy Noah had brought this massive PA system all the way from Wyoming out to Big Sur just because he wanted to do this cool party, I guess.
Yeah.
And in years past, the guy who had put the festival on, I'd been his sound guy forever, but I didn't have this giant system. I couldn't, I didn't have the gear to entertain 1,000 people on a mountaintop. So this guy shows up with this huge PA and this giant digital console. It was an Avid SC48 console, or DigiDesign SC48, but whatever. Not that means anything to anybody but me. But yeah, that was sort of a daunting experience. It's like a giant computer, really, more than it is a mixer. This enormous digital thing with a computer monitor on it and glowing automated motorized parts, and it was kind of daunting. But since I've really grown to love that.
Is it one of those things where someone has to be present with it 24 hours a day?
or it'll come alive?
Well, no, if it gets stolen or something, it's worth more than a human being's life.
I mean, it's the cost of a good car.
Yeah.
But
You know.
they do have those like locks. They do have like padlocks. And
Oh no! I mean, it weighs like in its case, it weighs like 200 pounds.
So you've
You're
never
not
seen the
moving
movie Ocean's 11, then? That's what you're saying.
No, I've seen it.
Which one? I've only seen the one with the song and dance. The song and dance number.
Is that the
That's the first one. Sammy Davis Jr. sings a song and does a dance in the first one of Ocean's 11.
I
I've seen the
forgot
original.
about that.
It's awful.
And now they're going to make a third one. The third Ocean's 11.
Wait,
Well,
really?
Ocean's 13.
Yeah.
No, they've made Ocean's 13.
Did they?
Yeah.
Did they only made Ocean's 12?
No, they're going to make another Ocean's movie. It's going to be one of
All
those
women,
Ghostbuster situation.
Yeah, it's all women cast.
Yeah.
But this one's going to have more of a direct link. Like, it's going to be Andy Garcia's, like, sister. Anyways, this isn't a movie podcast.
I got a question for you.
Yeah,
For
sure.
both of you. Scale 1 to 10, how good are y'all at keeping secrets?
When the microphone's on, 0. When the microphone's off, I can keep a secret for decades.
I'm phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm really I have a bit of hubris about my ability to keep secrets.
That's right. Okay. Secondary question. How many people in the United States do you think have top secret military security clearance?
At least 10.
At least 10?
Top secret?
No, not top secret. Top secret is a little...
Oh,
a little
yeah,
classification.
not code word clearance. I like how, like, in the past few years, everyone has become an expert on, the classifications of top
No,
secret.
I just know that there are different classifications, and I'm only referring to top secret.
I would say the whole State Department in all branches of government, 2,000 people.
2,000.
Way more than that.
More than 10.
I think I remember reading the statistic somewhere. Isn't it somewhere between 5 and 10,000 people or something like that? It's like a very large number of people.
It's significantly larger than any of what you guys said.
Okay.
1.3 million people.
Oh, wow.
1.3 million people have top secret security clearance.
So that many people can use one of those Avid boards? Are like qualified?
Yeah, they can use it to spy on you too.
Why did you decide to start your own company? Why not just go and do sound at other people's places with other people's
And why a
equipment?
limited company?
Yeah.
Why a limited company? Well, it limits our liability.
So is that so if someone like an Ace Frehley situation where someone gets electrocuted on stage, you can't be sued?
Well, our company
No,
gets
our company
sued.
can be sued, but we can't be sued personally.
Personally, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't lose all
I mean,
that
we,
stuff.
no, we
in
could
the
still
mask.
lose our shirts. It would just be slightly harder for us.
It'd just be
to
the
protect.
shirts
Only
with
the shirts
your,
that we put into
your
the
logos on. Yeah,
Yeah.
only the shirts that have your logos
Right.
on it.
Right.
Right, which we've talked about before. I would rather go with like one of those Leatherman's jackets. I think that'd be cooler.
Yeah.
Just a t-shirt. Because only two
Varsity
of us, we don't
jacket.
have to like go
Yeah.
hard on it. We can just...
You don't like pockets, though.
I don't like pockets? Are
Yeah.
you nuts? I love pockets.
You told me that you've been wearing a pair of bathing suits around.
Okay, well, this is a completely different thing. No, wearing a bathing suit in the middle of a Seattle summer is a utilitarian decision.
He's just walking around town in a
And when
bathing
you're walking
suit.
around in a bathing suit, having your cell phone and your wallet and your keys in your pocket, they're going to be swinging around like little
like
wrecking
a
balls.
nutsack.
Yeah, but like
Like a squirrel's
3 or 4
nutsack.
extra ones that are hanging down by your knees,
Yeah.
man. Not quite there yet, Danny.
I'm sorry.
So why is that? Because I have pockets in my pants. They don't.
Well, because
suffer
pants
that
are
problem.
tight; they're held against your body. But a swimsuit is loose.
So
like-
do you need,
and it's got the netting.
Do you need, would it be better to have a swimsuit with tighter?
Yeah. So you know
Trunk-
the swimsuits
trunks.
that the men's Olympic swimmers wear. Like we need something like that, and then I'll just have like unseemly bulges,
What about one of those like belt things that they wear at
like a construction yard, like a tool belt.
like Burning
talking about
Man.
a tool belt there?
Like a Burning Man. It's like it reminds me of
They sell
a
them
kilt,
yeah.
but
Utility
a
kilt.
little
Kilts.
tiny,
Yeah.
a little
Utility
teeny
kilt.
tiny
Yeah,
thing.
they sell them at the store next door. What is the point of your company?
What is the point? This is actually cool. This is something I actually believe in, which is fun to talk about. In the arts, I think a lot of your value is subjective. I also went to school as a composer, and anybody can write music, and people who have never been to school ever can write music that is as moving and beautiful as anything that I've done, and I've studied for a couple of years, right? Hatchback is objective quality. Like, we can offer you something that's tangible and real, that has value in a way that is not subjective, right? Like, yeah, this is noise. If you want to make noise, you need this. Great. We're your guys. It's, it's like a plumber in the arts scene, right? And I think that's actually really useful. And also, there's a huge... I don't know. I get really stoked on helping friends. And Will and I help out a lot of buds and do a lot of cool things that we otherwise wouldn't be able to do if we didn't present ourselves as people who are super fucking down to do that shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where I feel like our responsibility is really to like realize somebody's vision for their event or for their recording in a way,
or to show them the possibilities. Because a lot of people don't understand what can be done. And so when we're like, "Yo, you can do this 1,000 different ways," and you're just looking at one of them, check it out. You have this whole world in front of you. Let us help.
Yeah. There's a lot of cases where we end up going into a space with someone where they want to put on a concert or some kind of event. Maybe they want to record something in the space, and they just say, "I want to use this room, and I have these people. Go." And we sort of collaborate, us and whoever else is working on the event, to figure out what's appropriate. How loud does it need to be? What kind of music is it? Is it going to be like a sit-down, quiet, sort of put your phone away kind of event, or is it a dance party, or are we making a record?
Right. Yeah, and all those are different vibes.
But
very, very different choices.
What was the first piece of equipment that you bought that you knew you were buying it not to help out your own music, but to...
That we bought with the Hatchback business card?
Even personally. Like, well, no, I think more for each of you, like, personally. Like, you were buying something knowing, like, well, this isn't going to be for me making my own music. This is going to be part of...
This is for making money or for my business. As a tool for work.
Helping other people,
Yeah. Oh, man, that's a tough one.
Or are you just constantly buying equipment?
Well, I mean, I've been going through various pieces of recording equipment. No, I actually don't.
He is really good.
I have very little gear acquisition syndrome from working in studios, because there comes a certain point where you like go into an amazing recording studio and you know that unless you, in some wild stretch of the imagination, win the lottery or something, you're never going to be able to build something that nice. It's going to be $10 million in 20 years until you get to something like a great studio. So I don't really have those kinds of aspirations. But the first thing, at least that Hatchback bought that was sort of a bold step in our first direction as recordists was our recording interface itself. We had this piece of rack-mounted equipment that can record 32 inputs at a time. So we could record pretty much any show with it, within a reasonable limit anyway. And it served us really well. I've never had a situation where I didn't have enough channels of recording capability with that piece of gear, and it's been rock solid and reliable the entire time.
How many microphones do you own?
I think we have like 12 mics in the Hatchback locker now, something like that. It's pretty small, but they're all really... they're all Swiss Army knife type mics. They're nothing that we'll ever need to upgrade from.
And again, going back to the idea of community, when you're in a community, borrowing and lending gear is... I mean, I don't know. I feel like I've lent out my gear tons of times for people playing shows and
sure.
And
the first time I used a microphone in this podcast, it was borrowed from you.
There you go. Oh, it was borrowed from me?
Yeah.
Was it the iMic, the little black and gray one?
Maybe it was something.
Yeah.
It was a couple of years ago. Because before that we were just recording.
Hey, congratulations on having been doing a podcast for a couple of years.
Yeah,
thank you.
That's cool.
It does not feel like it's been that long.
No, it does not. It feels like you just joined really recently, only sporadically. What is the biggest problem you've had on stage? And you don't have to say the name of the band or the artist.
Biggest problem? I guarantee you Will's had bigger problems than I have.
I've had, are we talking personal problem or safety problem?
What's the biggest existential dilemma you've had while mixing a show?
It was something where it could be a technical or it could be a technical problem. Let's do both.
How about let's do both? That sounds good because I've got a good.
What's the first mechanical problem?
The worst,
human problem.
The scariest mechanical problem I've ever had was an electrical issue when I was working for a sound company in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and we were doing a county fair way out in the middle of nowhere in Wyoming.
Sounds great.
No, it was awesome. I mean,
so was REO Speedwagon and Joan Jett playing?
No, not at all. It was like Uncle Cracker and some pop country crap for this county fair because they had tons of fracking money and they figured they could hire some has-been pop country stars to play in a horse arena. And it was, they would bring in this killer PA system, hire us all the way out from Jackson. It was fun. And I was mixing monitors for Uncle Cracker on this show. And there was an amp rack underneath my mixing console. And there was an electrical problem that resulted in one of those amplifiers exploding about 30 seconds after I walked off the stage. It burst into flames and fire shot out of the front of the rack where I had been standing. Yes, actual fire. That's what happens.
Well, I mean, because sometimes people say blow up and they just mean it's not working.
No, this was actual like a big a whining sound that increased in pitch. Pow! Flames shooting out of the front of the amp rack. Yeah, that was pretty scary. Thankfully, it was.
Did like a bunch of cowboys hooting, howling, like woohoo, and like shoot their guns in the air, like woo, pyrotechnics.
No, my boss and I ran towards the generator and our power distros and shut everything off before the rest of our equipment exploded.
So what was? Do you know why that happened?
Yes. I know. Yeah. So what happened was the neutral leg of our power coming off of this large generator that was running the entire festival. It was a really shitty generator from some rental company out there, and this neutral wire had fallen out of its tied-in sort of cam lock. It was supposed to be locked in there, tied in with a big screw. The screw had been stripped out from years of abuse. The neutral fell out, and that resulted in the voltage on all of our circuits skyrocketing very, very fast, from 200 volts or 220 volts to almost 500, and then things started blowing up. So we shut it off and everything was okay. I was able to rebuild the monitor system on 1 amp instead of 2, and we did the show and it was fine. But it scared the crap out of me. Personal problem, I think the best personal problem I've ever had working a show was on tour with a couple of punk bands that shall not be named, and we were in North Carolina. And
what city?
Asheville.
Okay, there's no other places for a punk band to play in
I guess. I'd never been there before, but we were in Asheville, and we'd been on this grueling tour. Our itinerary had us doing 23 shows in 25 days and a whole lap of the U.S. It was awful. And we're in Asheville. This other band that we were touring with ran really late.
Ooh.
Till about 2:30 in the morning, and I was also doing sound for them. Yeah. I wasn't technically their sound guy, but I was working for them. And at the end of the set, there's hardly anybody in the bar, and I just sort of blurt out, "Oh God, it's over!" Like, thank God it's over.
Yeah.
And the lead singer is drunk and just lost his shit, comes flying at me, and grabbed me by my shirt and was about to punch me out in the bar. And his bandmates had to dragged him off of me, and that almost ended the tour.
Okay, but so that was... Okay, that's a ridiculous problem. Okay, let me.
I mean, it's a ridiculous industry.
So empathetic, Danny.
No, let me rephrase this. Have you ever been in a situation where someone is asking for something that's either literally impossible, or that's what I mean.
Yeah, but that happens almost every gig.
That's every time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, because
people don't.
Can I ask you a question? Let me ask you a question.
Me a question?
Why is it so hard for the singer to get vocals in this monitor? Why every show that I go to...
Because monitor engineering is actually harder than mixing.
We can demonstrate this right now with our gear right here. Can't we?
Oh, you guys brought gear? I hadn't noticed.
So let's just say that I'm the singer right now.
What's going to be great is one of our fans is going to animate this and put it on YouTube, but continue.
One of your fans?
Yeah, they're going to take this piece of audio and then animate it.
And then it'll be a viral hit.
Yeah.
So does everyone know what a monitor is when you sing?
Yeah, I do.
Danny, do you know?
Yes.
So if a singer needs to hear more of their vocals, then this starts to happen, and it's just like, oh, this is wonderful. Look at all this high-pitched frequency that's going on. That's what happens when you have too much vocals in your monitor. Or the monitors aren't wrung out. Or both.
Can't you cancel out?
Yeah, that's what ringing out is. So you would, pinpoint that frequency.
That one.
And then you go to a graphic EQ and turn it down.
So now we can turn Ben up.
And
you don't have any of that piercing feedback anymore.
Exactly, that's super dope. Are we maxing out your recording? It looks like we're compressing.
Oh yeah, we're in the red. That's fine. For Adam, ringing out is throwing a wedding ring into a pool at Disneyland.
Okay.
Long time listeners.
Now I understand.
So you find those awful ringing frequencies and try to remove them.
Back to BBB, Big Building Bash.
Yeah.
So, what is your typical day?
Well, that was
not a typical day, but would you like to know what we did for Big Building Bash?
Well, I mean, I know what Ben's typical day is, but is this going? He gets coffee and he gets a little cookie and he gets a little sandwich.
And I run into my friend Danny writing his novel.
Go to the Triple B. Let's do the Triple B. How'd that work out?
It's Bed, Breakfast, and Beyond for those.
Whoa,
just now tuned in.
That would be really great.
Effectively, what we were asked to
take
do,
everything out of the room that you stay in, to Airbnb.
We had been contacted as a potential sound.
What were you going to say?
I was about to say, host wanted to chime in.
I was going to say, actually, you can do that at any place, and they just charge you for it.
That's true. He has a large collection.
Oh, that's
of
a
robes.
really good point. So technically, any hotel room is really just kind of like an IKEA that you can walk into and take things out. Sure, you can. Why not? You'll just pay for it. Yeah. You'll probably pay a marked up bit, but that's what it is.
Price of convenience.
Okay, BBB.
That's I've never thought about that. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
See, it's good to have some sort of positive affirmation every once in a while.
What's the biggest thing y'all have stolen out of a hotel? It's just soap. No bathrobes or slippers or anything like that.
No, because they just charge you.
Yeah.
They have your credit card number.
Somebody's heart.
It's not like the old days.
You could just write a fake name.
Well, the old
and wear
days,
a mustache
the old
and
days you
shave
could
the
just pay
next day.
cash. Yeah.
Yeah.
Triple B.
Big building bash. So originally we had been we were in the running to be sound suppliers for at least one stage, and it turned out that they needed us to do more than one stage. We ended up doing 2 stages, and after the festival organizers had their sort of long deliberation with the city of Seattle about the continuation of this festival in the warehouse using the building's power, and the city told them that they couldn't do it in the building, and they also weren't allowed to pull power from the building because of the state of the electrical in the warehouse.
Yeah.
So we also coordinated the electrical contracting. So we supplied, we found a contractor to supply 2 large generators.
Is it solar? Because I hear solar's pretty big right now.
No, we were
In
definitely
Seattle, are you nuts?
we were definitely burning diesel for this
Okay.
one. But we had two large diesel generators and an electrical contractor there to supply 10 circuits of clean, regulated power to every stage, and it worked out great. In years past, there's been some issues. The last time I mixed at Big Building Bash, there were some brownouts, just because that building has been modified every way you can imagine. So this was really reliable, and everyone was pretty happy with it. So I think it turned out well.
I'm trying to think of a pun of like someone shitting their pants when there's a brownout, but I can't do it.
Can you? So are you?
Because they're like, oh my god, all the power went out for a second while my band's playing. I was about to say.
I guess if they have like an automated sphincter,
A little anxiety
brown note
attack.
joke you could make?
that's low hanging fruit.
Well, I mean, that brown note can trip the breaker anytime. Ooh.
That's gross. All right. Anyway, let's get back on track in 3, 2.
So,
What?
I'm gonna point to you every time we count down.
so my question to you. So as part of your the skill set, the toolbox that you have available to you, the
Yeah.
mental toolbox, is that like being able to go into a place, a venue, a location, and being able to say, okay, we are going to have problems with this power system. Be able to kind of
Yeah.
look at.
That's part of it. I'm not a licensed electrician, but I've done enough entertainment power stuff with our local stagehands union and lots of other things in years past to know within a good degree of accuracy if we're going to need more power than is available, or if what is available isn't going to be suitable. I don't have certifications to do things like ground a generator. That takes you need to have a licensed electrician do that, or you won't get your electrical permit for your event. But
See, I didn't even know there was such a thing as an electrical permit.
and a lot of times you don't actually need one, but in the case of an event like Big Building Bash, you would, because you aren't able to pull power from the building. As a
And it's
result.
so heavily advertised.
Well, as
Also, because people know about it. Because I mean, if it wasn't that, I mean, I've been at places for shows that everything going on is illegal.
sure, there's plenty
Yeah.
of places like that.
So I have a question. Do you? Is there like the equivalent? And I'm half joking, half serious, because you guys, you're good looking guys. Is there like the
Oh,
equivalent?
thanks.
Is there equivalent of like, you know, engineered like kind of groupies? Like you have like oh, we know that you guys are going to be doing this, so it's going to be good. Or like, you know, you guys do a certain type of show or event, so they know any event that you guys choose to be involved in is probably going to be like a good event.
I would
Have you
hope
ever
that
had
people
that-
think that way about us.
Have you ever
but-
had an I saw you about you? Hey, sound man.
or like
I want
like
you
an
to put more vocals in my monitor.
or like an Iononymous in The Stranger or something?
Yeah,
No, I don't think so. Not that I know of.
Didn't they discontinue that?
they did.
I used to love
Iononymous?
that. Was
That's
one of
too
my,
bad.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites. No, the Iononymous is still around, but the I Saw You.
Oh, yeah, I Saw
was
You
like-
was
yeah,
great.
or the I See You.
I Saw You.
I Saw
Yeah.
You. Yeah, that might make more sense.
Yeah, I saw you drunk guy throwing up on 12th and Pike on
Right.
Saturday or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was the one peeing next to the bush.
Oh, you were spotted?
Yeah, we should
respond
get-
if you know what baseball team my hat was sporting.
Yeah.
But no, I would hope that people think of us that way, at least as far as like being able to rely on the quality of our work.
Have you
As
ever
far as
done sound
engineer
for?
groupies, I don't know.
Have you ever done sound for a band and then like a month later you're doing sound and they show up again and they didn't know it was going to be you and they're all excited?
Yes, that actually happens pretty often. Since I kind of started doing sound for bands as soon as I got here about 5 years ago now, and you start just running into people that you've seen before.
Do you have?
We had a great time, for example, mixing Bod at Big Building Bash. I hadn't mixed them in probably 3 or 4 years, and
They were tight.
Yeah, they were awesome.
really
They were
good.
killing it. It was really fun.
Do you guys have like I don't want to say a nemesis or an arch rival, but like
No.
is there kind of a shadow counterpoint to you guys whenever you hear like oh those
No, I wouldn't say so because
There's
I don't
an
think...
arrival group of sound men.
No, we don't have like a Warriors-like sound crew feud going on. So far as I know, I mean,
Feedback War.
there are other people.
2017.
There are other people doing sound, but I don't know anybody that kind of works in the same niche that we do. We just kind of do our own thing.
Is there ever like and you don't have to name any names unless you want to. Is there like a company or a group of people that like if I said, we checked you guys out, we think you're great, but we decided to go with X company. You guys would go, ooh, you kind of wince and you say, ooh, those guys.
Not really.
Or girls. Or women.
Not really. I mean, so
Or
not really is the answer to that question. But there have been times where we've been like we've had something lined up and then we've been swapped out, and I've either or both of us have gone to go see something. And what it always ends up being is like, yeah, this company got the gig, but the people who are working it are generally really really nice. And so you can't associate like nice people who cares?
Yeah.
Like we're just fucking
just
people.
money.
Do you have a blacklist of bands that you refuse to work with?
Do I? I won't work.
I think I know what that's about, and that wasn't them, like, sound-wise, was it?
Oh, no, sound-wise, no, but...
No, we don't care how
we mix
raunchy
the
your sound
shittiest,
is.
gnarliest music. It's about personality. It's about how nice you are.
Yeah, or I don't. I personally have a pretty I love some abrasive music. I don't care how noisy a band is, but if I have to replace microphones and fish my cables out of a lake of beer after your show, then I might be a little mad at you.
Have you ever been doing sound for a show and a band was out of tune and you just wanted to like stop the show and tell them to tune their instruments?
All the time. But I would never say such a thing because the show must go on.
I think I talk more to myself.
There's a catchphrase for you.
What?
The show must go on.
That's a
Hatchback.
Oh, God.
The show
LLC.
must go on.
The show must go on.
Oh,
I guess.
I guess. Oh wait, let's double that. The O from the go and the O from the on are two wheels, and it's a hatchback.
Oh, and there's
truck.
like dust.
Yeah, exactly. The show must go on.
We're taking over.
See, I was thinking it more simplistically. I was thinking it would be in quotes and italics, like at the bottom of a business card.
Italics.
Italics.
I don't know. Nuclear.
So Ben, you have a regular gig
I do have a regular gig.
at. Can I say the name of the place?
Of course, yeah.
Fred Wildlife.
Yeah, love it, please.
Tell some of our listeners about the complicated sound jobs that you often have to do there.
Well, funny enough, I got the job by doing a Hatchback gig there. We were doing sound for a performance art piece on a art walk night.
Does that mean Hatchbacks gets like 10% of your salary that goes back into the business, like a finder's fee?
No.
You should think about that.
But if we need an outside sound contractor, you bet it's going to be us.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's really
cool.
It's
Oh,
really
is there like payoffs and bribes and like?
No, there's just high fives and hugs, buddy. It's all goodwill.
No, we're just first call.
Yeah,
There's no bribes. There's just a
right of first refusal.
Right of first
as it
refusal
were, in contracts. But yeah, no, I work at Fred, and it's great. It's a really fun gig.
Okay, so often you tell me much funnier stories than that.
Yeah. Oh no. So the cool thing about Fred Wildlife is that it's not necessarily a concert venue. It's just a venue for things. So we have everything from sorority parties to bar mitzvahs
adult proms,
to swinger parties to hip hop shows to rock festivals.
This sounds like the premise for Party Down. TV show.
Oh yeah, with the caterers.
Ooh,
Yeah.
The sound guy version
I only
of Party
watched
Down.
the first season. I guess in a sense, but I mean, I stay stationary. It'd be more like a restaurant that is more, I guess to use the catering metaphor. So caterers go and they serve food places, whereas restaurants stays.
Is there other groups where you would think they would be a little bit more relaxed about the sound, but it turns out?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
How are reggae bands?
I haven't mixed a reggae band at Fred. I've mixed I think what was their name? They're a fun band. They're really nice guys. Not a cult. It's like hip hop, like metal. I know that those are two words that usually don't go well together, but they kind of pull it off. I'm trying to remember
Judgement
the
Night
name.
soundtrack. Judgement Night soundtrack.
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
Judgement Night soundtrack. Judgement Night was a movie in the late '90s, and the soundtrack they got metal bands and hip hop artists to collaborate on all the tracks.
Dope.
No, it was awful.
It's like Jay-Z and Papa Roach or
no, Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Oh, that one was.
That's
that one was...
that record's full of hits. I don't care what y'all say. It's a good record. Can we bleep that? like
How many times have you
wanna leave
how
with
many
them?
times have you plugged in Spotify into your soundboard?
Sure, yeah, numerous times. The
All
Spotify
the time.
playlist is great. My personal favorite is not the Spotify playlist, but is the YouTube music video playlist.
Oh, that's my
And
favorite.
one of the things that I love about it, in particular,
Okay. So explain. So this means that a group of people are having a party at Fred.
right, and so we also have these 2 big projection walls, and so you can project whatever you plug into our computer onto it. So what people will do is they'll make a YouTube playlist of music videos, and they'll plug their computer in, the music synced to the video, and they just listen to it. But music videos nowadays, would you like that right here?
Would you like to? Would you like
Try not
I got
to.
this.
It's fine.
No, it's all good.
We're all going to the top of Mount Rainier.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, so they have these parties and they do playlists, and music videos now have like narratives built in, so they'll have like a minute of like, where are you going? Oh, I don't know, and
Well, I mean, that's been going on
Like
for
a
a while.
Michael Jackson.
right, but
like
but
Thriller,
what that
yeah.
means is that when you're playing a
Okay.
playlist of that you, and between every song you got a minute and a half of narrative that
Yeah.
doesn't make any fucking sense because you're not necessarily watching the music video.
And
So do
potentially what feels like dead air, too.
Right, yeah, exactly, and dead air is
Kills your party.
Kills your party.
So do people like try to pretend like do people try to groove during that time and like dance? No, everyone's just like
one of the best parts about Fred is the fact that the DJ booth is so high that I have my eagle eye view on everybody. Yeah, it's a really interesting study in people.
Have you ever been at Fred and been up there in the booth and seen somebody and then you hid from them?
Hid from
Yeah.
them. So one of the things that I have done, and this is like unfortunate, but it happens, where it's like I'll be looking around and I'll be like whatever, and I'll make eye contact with somebody accidentally, as you do when you're like looking around at a
A
crowd.
lady.
Or, no, not even necessarily a lady, but just literally anybody. It could be one of the bartenders, you just happen to sync up in that moment,
Lady
and then it happens 2 or 3 times in that day or
Yeah.
in that evening,
Yeah.
and then you're like, I'm not gonna look at anybody, like because if I make eye contact one more time, it's gonna be fucking awkward. Not awkward, but
Is that why we're wearing sunglasses?
No, I haven't.
So is this the place where they have like the morning rave party like once a
Yeah,
week?
yeah. Did you go to that? Did you
I've
hear
been
about
there,
that?
yeah.
Yeah. We just did that. What was it? Daybreakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When was the last time you were at Daybreakers, Adam?
I think it was last month.
Again,
Yeah.
vibes where I went in and I was like a rave in the morning, and they were ended up being really nice
Weird.
people.
I don't remember getting a text from you in the past month inviting me to go to this with you.
Well, it starts with yoga, so you probably wouldn't like it.
Oh.
And I got put on the list. I didn't have an extra plus. Actually, that's a lie. I did have a +1, so I don't have an excuse.
That's really uncomfortable.
Hey, Danny, how long have you been working at Spin Cycle?
Since it opened 6.5 years ago.
6.5 years ago.
It's been 6
What's
and a
your
half
favorite
years.
part about it?
What's my favorite part about it?
Yeah. You want to get that?
So we had a break there for a second because we are recording this episode in the record store I work at, and someone saw us, even though we're kind of hidden, started calling, even though, what time is it? It's 11:06.
See, Danny, you got 17% battery. Does that not stress you out?
It stresses me out, but I'll take care of that. Don't worry.
Do you wait until that little ding thing comes out?
And they really wanted to buy an Indiana Jones movie. And they said they were on a date, and it was a make or break moment.
Oh, that's sweet, dude.
And did you have it?
Yes.
And did he buy it?
Yes.
DVD or Blu-ray?
It was the DVD, and it was just cash, no tax, because the register's all closed out.
Right.
So I'm just going to staple it and leave a note.
I am very curious. So he said it was a make or break moment
Yeah.
on a date. So did you see this date?
No.
How? Because what situation would a DVD be a make or break moment? Like someone's like, you know what, not for me. I'm sorry, I had a good. You seem like a nice person, but
You don't have Raiders of the Lost Ark, so
I
it's
guess I have a
over.
limited imagination because I just can't think of a situation where that would be like, in a realistic sense.
I've never really been on a date, so I'm not one to ask.
These are some handsome guys. Well, you guys have to. You can just rest on your laurels and just flash a smile and.
Look, rest on your... So, do
So
you guys
we-
know where that phrase comes from? Rest on your laurels?
Lauren Hardy.
Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah.
Because Hardy was just there riding Laurel's coattails the whole time.
Wait, so have either of you ever gone on a date with someone to a show, and you ruined the date because you just kept complaining about the sound?
Yes.
No, actually, yes. So it wasn't a live music show, but the sound really bummed me out.
Yeah.
Was it a pre-recorded show?
No, it was a live broadcast podcast movie where they broadcasted it into like a bunch of different theaters, and the sound wasn't synced with the video.
Ooh, was it this American
Was
Life?
this one of those Phantom Entertainment? Or
It's a simulcast kind of thing?
Yeah, it was a simulcast like live in New York, and they played it here. And
James Franco doing Of Mice and Men.
No, but here's the thing. I wanted to love it because it was some of my favorite podcasts, right?
So your second favorite podcast, because obviously this is your first.
You make the joke a lot. You make the joke a lot about Accidents on Purpose being people's favorite podcast. I just want to point that out.
It is everyone's favorite podcast. I've never listened to it before.
And it's also not a podcast. This is AM radio. Let's take it seriously, Danny.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, so there's this... I don't remember what I was talking about, Danny.
You run a date, simulcast.
Right, simulcast.
podcast.
And so not only are they not necessarily like physical actors, so it's like people doing an audio thing in a visual medium, but it's also the fact that all the comedic timing was just totally fucked because people were acting before you could hear the punchline, and it gave everything away, and it really sucked. And I couldn't like it. The girl I was with, who happened to be my girlfriend at the time, was not a huge didn't really bother her at all. And so I was just there being a grumpy guest while she was like, "This is fine."
You know what I'm bummed
do you think that what you just described, was that like a representative of the greater part of your relationship?
No?
Where you were grumpy?
Was that a symbolic moment of your relationship? Yeah. If your relationship was going to be one episode of a television show, would it be that?
Every moment can be a symbolic moment of a relationship if you extrapolate that from it.
It can be.
Right.
But is it?
Let's be serious. Let's be serious for something. Let's be serious for a second. What motivates someone to make a Christmas album?
Oh, what
money?
What motivates someone to make a Christmas album?
Well, I'm looking in your direction.
I know you're looking at me. Are you talking about Corned Beef Grind, which is a Flesh Patty Christmas? Is that what you're on about? Okay.
The Christmas record you
made. So what motivated me to make that one?
Tell our audience about it.
Okay, so that's a grindcore Christmas album that I made when I was at Cornish. And, why did I make that record? That's a really good question, and I'm not even sure why I made that record, to be totally honest with you. I'm really happy that I did. It's one of my favorite things I've ever done. But what motivated me? Probably a complete and total existential rage at the bombardment of Christmas music that begins every year, sometime, around Thanksgiving, as soon as Thanksgiving dinner is over, and until fucking January, until after Christmas. I don't even know why, but I'd been bombarded with so much of it, and I had been so overworked as a composition student and everything else at the same time that I decided to bring my feelings about the onslaught of the holiday cheer to the rest of the world.
Through grindcore. And the full name again?
Corned Beef Grindwich is the name of the band, and the record is called A Flesh Patty Christmas, and you can find it on Bandcamp. It's free. Merry Christmas to the world. You're a bunch of slobs.
How many songs is it?
I think it's 12 songs. I don't remember.
So it's a proper album.
It's a full album. It's like an hour long. Or is it an hour long? It's like four. No, it's no. It's whatever it is. You know what? It feels like an hour.
An hour long.
That means that all the songs.
I don't even know my own records.
I like Christmas.
And so do I. But that was my way of bringing holiday cheer to everybody who was just as pissed off as I was that year. So,
which is funny because did you ever work retail?
Did I ever work retail? Yeah, I worked in a music store in Monterey for a while.
Was it the kind of retail where they would play Christmas music during?
Thank God, no.
Have either of you ever worked retail?
Since I moved to Seattle.
Yeah. But Spin Cycle doesn't play Christmas music.
It's not the Gap,
John Fahey's Christmas records?
Sorry, the record store you work at doesn't play.
I love playing John Fahey's Christmas albums. His two of them.
Right, but you don't do it, you're not corporate about it.
I made a tape of my favorite Christmas songs.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I sold it in the store.
How many Michael Bublé tracks are on it?
It's called Jesus Ain't No Santa.
Oh.
It was a 60-minute tape.
That's a cool fuck. I would love to have that tape. Do you have any, is it still on?
I still have the master copy. I could dub off a copy for you.
Dope. Can you convert it to Blu-ray?
I can convert it to an HD DVD.
Cool. Just as long as my Tesla can play it.
Yeah. But my favorite track on there was Joe Pesci's Christmas song from his album, which Joe Pesci's CD is one of my all-time favorite pieces of music.
Does he sing? It's not like a Shatner version? It's like
he sings. He does blues, he does rap,
Whoa.
he does like...
Wait, is he like 90s style rap? Like da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, like that stuff?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Adam, what's your favorite place to get coffee?
Okay, I'm really glad you asked me this, because normally my favorite place to get coffee is Analog. But I was recently reading one of their Yelp reviews, and someone made a great suggestion.
Okay, you know what? I'm looking at the clock on the wall, and we are out of time. I want to thank the folks from Hatchback, LLC.com. Is that the website, hatchbackllc.com?
But really quick, it's just on the other
Wait,
side
no,
of
we
Broadway.
don't have time. We don't have time. So what's the next show that you guys are doing sound for? Or does it matter?
I think it's Vespers. Is it
Oh
Vespers?
yeah, it's Vespers.
Do
Yeah.
you ever tell people, hey, come to the show, I'm doing sound?
Yeah.
Totally, of course.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Where is that?
Well, this event.
Generations. You guys know where Cairo used to be?
Yeah, it's called Generation.
Funny enough, because that's exactly where the
No,
place is.
no, we don't have time. We don't have
No,
time.
it's right.
But we don't have
But
time.
you know what I went that was really good?
What's that?
No, we'll talk about it.
Okay. I guess that's it. I want to thank Hatchback LLC, www.international.
No,
It's just .com.
Hatchbackllc.com.
Wait, can you go to Canada and do shows?
We haven't done that yet.
Can you though?
Well, Canada has a weird musician touring thing. I wonder if
I
that
thought
would
they
apply to
lifted
us.
that. I thought they made it
Did
a little
they?
bit easier.
Oh,
I don't know. You know, I'm not the one.
As far as Hatchback
Easy,
is
quick
concerned.
place that you
No,
can get
okay.
for
So
free.
thank you,
You know,
once again to Will and Ben.
Thanks for having us.
in a place
What's
that would
funny
love
is
to
that
have
what's
your
funny
business.
is that you're past tense and he's future tense. You're Ben and you're Will.
I'm a has-been.
You're has been.
Right.
He will.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry about that. Adam, thank you once again.
Adam, what's your last name?
You don't want to say that over there. This has been another week of Accents on Purpose. I want to thank everyone for listening, and just remember, keep one finger on the pause button, one foot in the grave, and fuck you for listening.
This has been a podcast presented by
Hard to find media.
Subscribe to Hard to Find Media on youtube.com/Hard to Find Media Network. This shit is free. Share it. Blast it.